The idea is to give kids who get into trouble with the law a chance to avoid criminal convictions that can dog them the rest of their lives. They are called civil citations, but ABC 7 has uncovered some startling numbers that show black kids are less likely to end up in these diversion programs than white kids. ABC 7's Adam Cellini investigates.
It's a trend publicized in our prisons and jails, the disparity between black and white inmates. But in 12 years of work with juvenile delinquents, Rodney Jones saw firsthand it starts before the age of 18.
You get a lot of black kids that will receive the deep end residential programs, longer term programs, programs where they're away from family, away from community, away from home. Many of the white offenders would receive diversion programs, early intervention programs.
Jones's job has changed. He now runs the NAACP's branch in Manatee County, but the numbers haven't. In Manatee and Sarasota counties, the percentage of black youth arrests has been nearly triple the entire black population over the last 5 years. But when it comes to diversion programs, the percentage of black offenders drops while the percentage of white offenders rises.
The numbers don't surprise me at all. It just reaffirms what any learned person or any scholarly person that does even an ounce of research would see that we have a problem.
Diversion programs can help a minor twofold. They provide a more rehabilitative environment, and if completed, a charge can be erased from public record. It's a life and death moment, according to Dr. Eddie Renier, chairperson with the Florida Council on the Social Status of Black Men and Boys.
If you take a 16, 17-year-old and you give them a jail sentence, even if it is 6 months, you finished them.
Officers often have the first option to refer a juvenile to a diversion program upon an arrest. We reached out to several local law enforcement agencies for their explanation. Many declined interviews but gave similar answers. They're just following the law, and it's the state attorney's office who's really responsible for diversion programs. Major Paul Richards calls it a system of checks and balances along with the Department of Juvenile Justice.
If I had a deputy that did that in error or under some other circumstances, one of those two entities would notify me that what appeared to be an eligible child was in fact arrested, and we'd address that immediately.
In October of 2015, the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office started issuing civil citations, a program championed by civil rights groups who say it removes discretion. Based on a strict list of misdemeanors, nonviolent first offenders are automatically given a civil citation, which becomes the first step to a diversion program. A breakdown of the Sheriff's Office 142 civil citations so far may look lopsided, but Major Richards says a kid's record, other offenses, and judicial process are all contributing factors.
There's a perceived bias that occurs under these circumstances. Very often you have to delve much further into the data to find out what exactly is occurring.
Dr. Renier believes racism can still exist behind the data, even without realizing it.
When people see a black kid, they see more violence, they see more crime, they see more hopelessness.
Another element he says is condemning black youth is access to private attorneys.
Those kids are the ones more likely to have a public defender appointed who is overwhelmed with the number of cases he has. That public defender gets a settlement, he jumped for it. So even before it gets to the judge, that kid's already been compromised.
To reverse the trend of full prisons and empty households, Renier says cops in courtrooms must help those who can't help themselves.
We need to think of them as kids, not black or white as kids in trouble. And whenever we destroy a kid, a piece of America gets destroyed with that.
We reached out to the state attorney's office juvenile division for both Sarasota and Manatee counties, but neither were available for comment. In the newsroom, Adam Cellini, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Coming up, an impressive roundtable, a retired judge, a civil rights attorney, and a representative from the NAACP. Stay with us. We are taking it to the trapezoid.